Hey, and welcome back to Utility Sports. In today's video, we are covering the latest MLB Power Rankings according to CBSSports.com. Now, this is going to be a really interesting list to look at. There's quite a bit of moves and shakes from the previous renditions of the MLB Power Rankings, so it's going to be kind of fun to look through that. Hit that subscribe button if you are new to the channel, and also leave a like on today's video if you do enjoy the content. Now, looking here at number 30 to 28. We have kind of the teams that have been struggling. Now, looking at the Oakland Athletics, like they say here in this short little excerpt, it's been since 1979 since this team has lost 100 plus games. They've lost 55 already. And this is a team that, is not trending in the right direction. A lot of selling during the past offseason. I think we're going to go ahead and see that trend continue here, moving towards the trade deadline. Doesn't really surprise me. The Washington Nationals are a team that's they're definitely reeling a little bit. Once again, they had signed Nelson Cruz in hopes that they can remain somewhat competitive. Josh Bell has been on an absolute tear this season, and more particularly in the month of June, he was on another planet. His on-base percentage was around 500. It was absolutely insane what he was doing in the month of June. So I think there's a lot of people that are going to be after his services during that trade deadline, just because of what he offers, being that switch hitter and the fact that he's been slashing a great line this season. Then we have the Cincinnati Reds here, obviously a team that will be once again looking to move some arms at the deadline, looking to acquire some prospects. They're down one spot here, 27-51 record. The Cincinnati Reds, a lot of people were kind of trolling them with how bad they started the season. They've recovered a little bit, and once again now they're kind of on the slide once again. Then we have the Detroit Tigers, Spencer Torkelson. He's had some issues, obviously adjusting to some major league pitching. But for me, that's not a huge concern moving forward. This is a guy that's going to be a big level offensive contributor. It's just going to take some time at the major league level to make adjustments. At the very next one here that we get to, if I can just get up a little higher on it, we have the Kansas City Royals. This is another team that has found a little bit of a stride lately. They're very, very competitive. Obviously, they've already started to try to make some moves here, gearing up towards the deadline. But at the end of the day, the Royals are going to be sellers. They have some nice pieces up right now. There's more coming. The Kansas City Royals obviously are not shooting for this season. Chicago Cubs here, another team that is, trying to figure some things out. Patrick Wisdom. The fact that he has 17 home runs right now is absolutely insane to me. Is he going to hit that 40 mark? I don't think that's realistic. It's kind of like they're saying in the excerpt. I don't believe that's a realistic outcome for him. However, nice surprise for them, this season. One of their big bright spots for sure is Patrick Wisdom. And then we keep going here in the rankings. We have the Pittsburgh Pirates. Pittsburgh Pirates are once again a team that, a little better maybe than people expected, still kind of hanging towards the bottom of the power rankings. Doesn't really shock me that they are sitting at 24. The next team, the Arizona Diamondbacks, which they've been kind of up and down this year. They've had some really nice series wins, especially against the Miami Marlins. When I watched those, some of those games, they're very, very impressive. Zach Gallen's an absolute monster. There's a lot to like about what this team is currently building. And they have definitely shocked some people. I know there were numerous amount of people that were thinking that they were going to be hanging, at the very, very bottom of these power rankings for most of the year. However, they have been, more so impressive. Another team that's been a big surprise, mainly because of CJ Crone. The fact that he's on pace for 40 home runs and 120 plus RBIs is absolutely insane. He's crazy. He's out of his mind. This is a guy that has bounced around teams. You remember a stint with the Twins. He is just on another level. The Colorado Rockies are obviously, very, very lucky to have him. This is kind of one of those times where you feel like maybe trading him actually does make some sense. I mean, maybe you look at him as a long-term piece, but to me, capitalizing on value here in the trade market makes a lot of sense. Trade him to a true contender. They've been paying, better ball. They've been playing better ball than people have been expecting. And that also goes with this story here with the Baltimore Orioles. Tyler Wells has been quietly a great story here. In 15 starts since the first one of the year, hasn't allowed more than 3 runs at all. Once again, the Baltimore Orioles are a team that have kind of found new life ever since Adley Rutschman came up, and they are looking better and better. This is a team that, people were really expecting to be bottom feeders this season, but definitely have been proving some people wrong. We keep going here. We have the Angels, and the Angels are such a weird team, obviously moving on from Madden and the fact that they have 2 of the top 5 players in the world in all of baseball, which is just crazy to me. I think that they're a team that it's tough. It's tough because you have so much talent there, but it has not been translating to true, above 500 level baseball. Now we have the Miami Marlins, and Sandy Alcantara and Pablo Lopez being, the head of that rotation has really kept them in the mix. That's been the big thing for the Miami Marlins, in my opinion, but their ability to, hang around these games. I mean, the games that Sandy pitches, the games that Pablo pitches, they're right in them. Braxton Garrett just gave them a really, really nice start as well. However, the Miami Marlins are a team that I just don't think has enough offense to really get moving. Bullpen shaky at times. I really have some questions about their offense. I do love the Marlins, but I really need to see them produce, more consistently on the offensive end. Joey Wendell stepping back to the lineup every day is going to help that. Then you have the Texas Rangers. You have Jonah Heim, a guy that's been a big time story for this team. They spent a lot of money this offseason, but he has been on an absolute tear this season, probably an all-star. So really, really awesome for the Texas Rangers. Marcus Semion's been coming around as well. The Seattle Mariners, Robbie Ray has 5 straight starts where he's allowed no more than 1 run. Once again, Robbie Ray is just on that level right now. It's awesome. And you also look at Julio Rodriguez is on a tear. This is a guy that, is going to be a superstar in this league. So the Mariners are definitely a fun team to be watching. You follow that up with the San Francisco Giants, kind of a weird little bit here in May and June. They haven't been able to get just the most traction per se. However, they're a team that's just hanging around long enough. They were super dominant last year, kind of take a step back this year. And that's a story worth monitoring. Another team that I think is going to gain some more traction through the back end of the year is the Chicago White Sox. I think they're a team that needs to get some footing. Injuries have played a big part in it. Just not getting some of the true divisional wins that they need has also played a factor in this. But the Chicago White Sox are loaded with talent, pitching staff, the actual lineup. They're going to be just fine. Looking at the Philadelphia Phillies as well, looking at what he's been doing or what the Phillies have been doing, they're trying to gain a little bit of traction here in that NL East. It's a tough division to compete for, especially when you have the Braves and Mets, at the very top of it. I look at the Phillies as a team that's kind of that outsider looking in when looking at the actual postseason outlook. But, the Philadelphia Phillies, as long as they have Bryce Harper, they're going to have a chance in a lot of these games because of, the impact that Bryce has on the game. Follow that up by the Minnesota Twins. Huge struggles from that bullpen. A lot of struggles from that bullpen this past week. Some big losses they suffered to the Guardians. They could have really capitalized on the division lead. But now I don't know. I have my questions about the Minnesota Twins. Byron Buxton's great. Carlos Correa is really on right now. And this is a team that you expect to continue to fight for that division. And now we have the Guardians here, and the Guardians are a team that is really starting to pick up some more traction. A lot of people thought that they were probably going to be not necessarily tanking, but they were trying to save some money this past offseason, and it's paid off. Great job by their front office. Josh Naylor's walk-off celebration was pretty awesome. And I just think that they're a team that's super exciting, and the Twins should be sweating them a little bit because the Guardians, I trust their pitching more. And the Twins have just got to try to outproduce them offense-wise to really have a chance. Now we have the St. Louis Cardinals, and the St. Louis Cardinals, if you were watching this past week, hit back-to-back home runs, which is absolutely crazy. Really, really crazy. This Cardinals team is fun. I think that when you look at the NL Central, they're really going to give the Brewers a run for their money. when it comes to the division during the back half of the season here. Now we have the Boston Red Sox, AL East team, and this is going to be, one of four you're going to see down the stretch here. This is a tough division, and with where they're heading right now, they got to keep pace in that division. They got to, but it's really tough to keep up with the rest of these teams, including the Toronto Blue Jays. Toronto is a very, very competitive team. They split here when it came to a series against the Rays and the Red Sox, but that's okay. But in that, you really want to make sure that you're winning those divisional games to really put yourself in the best position when it comes to later in the postseason. Now we have the Tampa Bay Rays, and this is a team that is spearheaded by pitching. And Shane McClanahan is a big part of, heading that rotation. He's been arguably the best starter in the American League this year. He's been absolutely lights out. At the end of the day here, they are dangerous when it comes to the rotation. With Glasnow coming back, this is a team that you don't want to see later on. And we have, really grown accustomed to how good the Rays are. Now we have the Milwaukee Brewers. Wow. Brandon Woodruff, despite him not having an effect every single day, seemingly does. 6 of 8 games that they've won with Woodruff back from the injury list. That's made a big impact on their team. It's really helped, boost their lead in the NL Central. Now we have the Padres, and the Padres are a team that's fun, exciting, flashy, and they continue to really wow people. When you watch them play the games, Manny Machado is super electric, and I think a lot of people need to give him more credit for how great he's been this season. Now we have the Atlanta Braves, and the Atlanta Braves are once again a team that's been able to pick up some steam and really boost their way into the top 5. The defending champs are a tough out. Obviously, losing Freddie Freeman in the offseason was big, but, getting Matt Olson in the building, that's really helped kind of soften the blow of losing a superstar like Freddie Freeman. Now we have another NL East team, and that is the New York Mets. Having DeGrom back and Scherzer back, that's a big deal. And this is the reason they went all out, is because they're willing to spend the money. And also they have the primes of 2 of the best starters of our generation. So New York Mets, once again, sitting here at 4, followed by the Dodgers. And the Dodgers are a team that, what's the closer situation looking like? However, they're just so talented top to bottom in that lineup. In the field, they're great. Their pitching staff's good bullpen. For the most part, there's a lot to love about the Dodgers. And then now number 2, we have the Houston Astros, and wow, have they been just terrific, just terrific. Even with the loss of one of the best players in the league in Carlos Correa, they haven't skipped a beat. Honestly, 52-27. Are you kidding me? The Houston Astros are for real. A lot of people are going to make fun of them for obviously the cheating scandal, but like right now, they are legit heading into the postseason here. I'm kind of curious to see what they do at the trade deadline, but wow, Houston's been good. And then finally, the New York Yankees sitting at the very top should be no surprise to anyone. Aaron Boone's done a phenomenal job with this team this season. Really, really impressive stuff from the Bronx Bombers. They've been on an absolute tear once again. I think they'll still probably try a couple things to tweak their roster at the MLB trade deadline, but wow, they have been good. Thanks again for stopping by. Hit that subscribe button if you are new. Also, leave a like on today's video if you did enjoy the content. We really love having you guys a part of the community. So making sure you are commenting who your favorite team is so I can learn that a little bit better and speak more on your guys' favorite teams. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll catch you in the very next Utility Sports video.